And a 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the escape room. Enjoy the game.
It's time to play the game. Time to play the game.
Welcome, everybody, to the DIU Escape The Podcast. I'm Dom.
That is Dom.
And that was Phil.
Yeah, that's what I've been told.
Episode 3 of our
Road trip.
impromptu road trip.
Strong Island, baby.
Yes, sir. And we've been to 3 different places. We, the first episode of this, in season 4 of our podcast, the first part of this road trip, we talked about epic escape rooms.
Yep.
But we also talked about that we hit one more place later that night.
Yes.
To cap it off. We went to Just Escape. And they're justescapeli.com. They are in, I don't even know what town they're in. Some of these towns are just a pain in the ass to talk or to say.
Massapequa.
Massapequa, New York. This place, you pull up to the building, I mean, you really need to slow down on the road in order to catch it because it's quick.
Yeah.
But it's not hard to find.
No.
It's not. It's not like the last episode where we spent 20 minutes trying to find the place.
Right on the main
main drag. It has a small little private parking lot in the back where you can park on the street if there's room.
Yep.
And this place, I don't know how they do it, but they were freaking pumping out
Never seen
rooms
that many people coming and going
at an escape room
at an escape room ever.
We've been to some busy ones and never seen this before. But we went there on Saturday night and we played The Wizard's Last Quest.
Yes.
This one, we're going to try to keep these short and brief because we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we did 6 rooms, all 6 of the rooms there within the last 2 days.
Yeah.
So we got to try to keep it, under 2.5 hours.
Yep.
But we did Wizard's Last Quest. The difficulty it's a 3 out of 5. The room was difficult.
I like this room a lot.
Immersion was phenomenal. Immersion was done very well.
Yes.
And the one puzzle I loved, I really liked the puzzle, was the, you know what I mean? The chain puzzle. I'll just say it, the chain puzzle. Try not to give. I really don't want to give any spoilers on almost any of these rooms here whatsoever because they are that good. They are really that good. I don't exactly remember who our game master was for. Oh, Wizard was Nicole.
Yes.
I only got 2 game masters' names out of this.
Nicole was cool.
Nicole
They all
was
were good.
They were all good. Every employee there was
even
good.
the ones that weren't our specific game master.
Right.
Everyone that works at this place was super friendly, super cool, and shout out to the whole staff there.
Really, yeah, they were very, very good. But for Wizard's Last Quest, you had to find the emerald, right? The emerald necklace?
The gold necklace with the emerald on it, yeah.
The emerald necklace. And you have to... upon request, you may be blindfolded at certain points in this room. I didn't know that. I'm just reading it on their website now.
I wonder how come they didn't ask us.
Why would we get blindfolded?
Maybe to start.
Okay.
Maybe you're supposed to be blindfolded and handcuffed to start.
I don't think handcuffed, but it's a school. It's not like you're in a dungeon or something. Well, you kind of were in a dungeon, but actually, you're medieval times. Anyway, this one was cool.
The first room was a dungeon, I think. The first part of it.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know.
But it was a really cool room, really immersive room. This is a place where some places you go to play somewhat of a medieval room, Renaissance room of some sort. They have the wall texture is like all 3D stuff, like you feel the rock and this and that. I mean, they just used the wallpaper, and I thought it worked out. Man, it really
wonderful.
made it look good.
We were talking about that when we got done, about how it really, that without getting super high tech in building the room, it was something that gave it super immersion, and it was great.
Right. There was one puzzle that I understood after, but
I still don't
you still
understand
don't get it, and
I mean,
you get it, but you don't.
I understand how we came to the
riddle,
answer, but I don't.
The riddle
understand.
was just, the answer itself was just a far leap from what the riddle said, or vice versa.
But I think that was the only one that was a leap like that.
Right. And we found that probably in every room there's been at least one like that. And that's really the worst we could say about the wizard room.
Another thing that I liked about this room, again, I love this room.
Yep.
It's hard to find a wizard room that's not Harry Potter.
Yes.
This was not Harry Potter.
No, not at all.
And it was nice to do a medieval wizard's room
that wasn't a Harry
Potter themed room.
Yes. No, yes.
And it's straight up wizardry and straight up medieval times, and definitely play this game.
Yes. We did beat it with, I think, 42 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, it was down to the wire.
It was down to the wire. And we had such a great time there. It made us come back here, record the first episode of the podcast, and then we were up till 2:30, give it 1:30, 2 o'clock, whatever, booking as many rooms as we could
for
the next day.
For today.
And we had gotten 4 rooms booked, and one right after the other.
Yeah,
we lucked out
for a little while. We spent trying to make the scheduling work out.
Yeah,
and it worked out. They were nice and accommodating there, and they were super to us all day.
It was great. So wizardry, honestly, puzzles were really solid. And immersion was great. Flow was really well done. There may have been a couple spots that we got stuck where we solved something or we opened something, but we had nowhere else to go. And we find that a lot in a lot of escape rooms, not just here,
I didn't think there was that much in this
one
game as it was in some of the others, but
right.
There was some really cool puzzles in it that we really hadn't done before, and I don't know, I liked it. I really liked it. I thought it was a great room.
Yeah. So definitely do Wizard's Last Quest. So as we got back to the hotel and we recorded and everything else, we started booking. So we started at 11 o'clock this morning, 11 o'clock in the morning, and started doing rooms. We did Pirates of the Dark Sea.
Yes.
And this one here is Pirates of the Dark Sea. Yay, matey. Yay, mateys.
Yo ho ho, and a bottle of rum.
You and your crew of scallywags tried to steal the treasure of the infamous pirate captain David S. Calabasas, whatever. As a result, you have been thrown into the hold of the truck of the ship. The plunder. Now you must free yourselves from the hold, steal the hidden treasure, and escape. We've done quite a few pirate themes, and that's really one of the most popular escape room themes is a pirate ship.
Yeah.
Pirates in general.
Yep.
Whether you're on what's supposed to be a sandy beach or a cave that we blasted, or you're in the brig, into the galley, and onto the outside deck, like
Fighting other ships,
and everything's very theatric, to being in a brig and just trying to get out of the brig itself.
Yep.
This room, immersively, was phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's right up there. Probably I want to honestly say it's my second favorite pirate room. But it's different between Doldrick's pirate room and, like, we were talking while we were waiting for the next room. Like, Doldrick's was like theatric, cartoony type.
Yeah.
This felt like more real life.
Yeah, Doldrick's was a different animal altogether.
Yeah, it was. And it's comparing watermelons to apples. Like,
yeah.
But I know this is apples to oranges, but Doldrick's is the watermelon. But this room was cool. There was aspects in it I did not expect. There was 2 aspects you didn't expect, which were on the downside of that. And it's about an episode we just talked about. We talked about 3 articles on doorways, crawl spaces, and sizes of them and what to do. I forgot what the third one was. But anyway, it had to do with crawl spaces and doorways. And this one
was a double whammy.
Especially for you. Almost a triple
Especially
whammy.
for me.
Almost a triple whammy. Honestly, I would say a triple whammy, because didn't you trip over part of something and then smacked your head? And then when we went to go do a puzzle, a door smacked you in the head.
Yeah, well,
so you had the triple whammy.
As you went through the thing into the other part of it, not only did a piece of trim come up from the floor, which was a tripping hazard, a piece of trim came down from the ceiling,
which you're going to
at the same spot,
right?
And it was dark in there, so you didn't see either one of those. So it's like you tripped over the thing, and you're like, you pick your head up, and boom, you hit your head on the thing. And it was like an Abbott and Costello kind of.
It really was. It was. And it's like, what the hell? And then we do one of the puzzles.
Yep.
And a door flies open and smacks you in the head. And it's like, okay.
Good thing I got
you got
hard noggin.
You got the triple whammy. So go back and listen to our podcast on doors, trapdoors, sizes of doors, crawl spaces, the whole 9. There was really no need to have that trim around that whatsoever.
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't a doorstop. It wasn't used to hold anything back. It wasn't used to hide anything. It was just trim work.
Yeah, and it was. Yeah, it's just.
And it was just funny that it's exactly what we just talked about a week or 2 ago.
A couple of episodes ago.
And it was exactly that thing. And it was.
When it happened, we both looked at each other to see.
Yeah.
And again, just like we talked about etiquette on 2 episodes ago, or 3 episodes ago, or whatever. It just came out recently. But we talked about etiquette, and that popped in again, etiquette, with one of the escape companies that we went and played.
Yep.
So definitely read some of these articles in REA, because they're really nailing the nail on the head. But all in all, this pirate one was freaking cool.
Yes.
It was a different way to win it. Yes, you had to find the treasure. You had to, do a lot of things. I mean, it was both mechanical and regular locks.
Yep.
I do have to say, I don't care what escape room it is, get rid of shiny locks.
Seems to be a thing down here.
I don't know.
I don't know, it's just their lock person down here carries a lot of shiny locks, but you can't read them in the dark, and you can't read it with a light on it. And
Yeah.
they're just a pain.
They are. They're a big pain. But aside from that, this room was done very well.
Yes. It was, everything made sense. It might not have made sense initially, but once you figured out what it was a lot of, oh, okay, yeah, now I get it.
Yeah.
We were going back and forth about, was that one or Wizards, who's, favorite.
Yeah, which one did we like? Did you like better or not?
I
Which
thought
one did I like
this
better?
one had a couple more leaps to a couple of the puzzles than
Yes.
Wizards did.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
can
why I
see that.
kind of like Wizards a little bit more.
Yep.
But immersion-wise, great. The puzzles in both of them were great. Once you figured out some of these things, it was really good. One of the only other problems was, if we have to get nitpicky, tolerances maybe on some
some
prop
props.
settings.
That, and I said this to a couple of the game masters as we were playing. Put some springs on some doors, so you know that you opened that door. Other than that,
And another issue, too, which we saw in both rooms, and I don't know if it's something with this company or what.
it wasn't Wizards. It was just Pirates. It was Sweet Revenge, Carnival, and Illusions, and Cabin in the Woods. But Wizards didn't have the hidden thing. Is that what you're talking about? No. Oh, I was going to bring that up anyway. But
No.
okay. Go
I
ahead.
was going to
Already cut
say, with Wizards and this one in Cabin, the darkness factor, I know, is there for aesthetics.
Yes. Immersion. Yeah.
The immersion, a little too dark for my liking, not to be given
To not
a
have
light
flashlight.
source.
Yeah.
They were very good about not saying anything when we pulled our phones out
Yeah.
to use the flashlight on them, but some of those, especially those two games, would have been hard to get through without any light source at all.
I agree.
Especially some of those real shiny locks.
Yes.
It's just impossible.
Yeah, and I apologize for cutting you off.
That's okay.
But
It's all good, brother.
when you do a room at Just Escape, you need to search the room thoroughly. That's the tip.
You do.
That's the one tip I'm going to give everybody. Search that room thoroughly. Whether you have to crawl on your hands and knees, take your phone and put the front facing like you're taking a selfie, put it in any crevice you could find in the room. Maybe you'll see what you're looking for.
Because when you're looking for something and you've looked in that spot 10 times, you feel like an idiot that you can't find this big piece that's sitting right there in front of your face. And we did it over and over and over again. And it wasn't
until we did the last room, the illusionist, that we finally caught on to it, and we still screwed it up.
We did.
But we found 90% of the pieces.
They hide, and we're not talking little tiny dime-sized things. We're talking big pieces
of wood.
Stuff that's the size of a book.
The size of a cell phone.
Stuff that, good-sized stuff that is staring at you in the face. And
Yes.
yeah, maybe it's because we did 6 games today. I don't know.
But, again.
And you feel so stupid. And I just was there. I just checked that spot.
And there it was.
Boom, it's right there.
Yeah. But, again, this room was done very well, and I highly recommend everyone to play this.
Yes. Oh, yeah. 100%.
So, now, we jump into our third room. We take a quick break, 10-minute break, whatever it was. We've been taking 10-minute, maybe 15 in between. And not for nothing, this place was just, that door was just opening and closing, opening and closing, opening and closing.
Unbelievable turnover.
I think they did like 3 birthday parties there today.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Decent-sized groups.
Yeah.
Coming into play. Young teenagers coming into play.
Yeah.
It was great to see that more people are coming in and doing escape rooms now. But this place, it was unbelievable. We would have booked the last room while we were there, but we couldn't get it in time until we had to book it for 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
So we get into the next room, and it's called Sweet Shop, right?
Sweet Revenge.
Sweet Revenge. And this one, immersion was really good. I mean, I'm going to tell you, immersion was really good in every single room.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, and we are big immersion people. We went in, there's real candy in this place.
Yes.
And you get candy at the end.
Yes, you do.
And it was great. I mean, they had...
And it was name brand candy.
Yes, name brand candy on top of it, right. They spared no expense.
Yeah, I got a cup of candy. You got a cup of candy. And you can pick whatever kind you want.
I got it sitting right over there. Right.
It was like being at Willy Wonka's.
Yeah. And I'll give you that. They played Willy Wonka theme throughout the thing. You got sick of it. It just went background noise to me. But
I was fine 3/4 of the way, all the way listening to it. Yeah. After that, it's like the Small World song at Disney.
Yeah. But we got into this room and kind of excited about this room because it was something different. It wasn't a dark room. It was very bright. Yep. Almost too bright for certain puzzles. But this room, to me, seemed very, very leapy. You didn't really realize what answer and what answer to that puzzle went to what code lock, whatever. And we found ourselves, we would get one lock open, and then we're like, okay, where do we go from here? And it seemed like with every single puzzle, or maybe even every other puzzle, something to that, we were like, what do we do?
It wasn't a bad room.
No.
It was a different room. Like you said, it was a little leapy. My least favorite out of all the rooms there, but that doesn't mean I didn't like it. It was just someone has to be last, and he gets to be last. To me, it was the most frustrating.
Yes.
Out of all the rooms.
Yes, it was.
And to me, it was a little deceiving because when you walk, the way the theme is and the way the immersion is and everything, to me, it seems like it would be almost like a little kid's room, but they weren't little kid puzzles.
No, not at all.
No.
Not at all.
I mean, they were puzzles that we were asking for clues left and right, and
I'm not saying we're the smartest people in the world, but we're no slouch.
Yeah, we couldn't get traction in this game. We couldn't build up, and it was just frustrating to me. That's the best way to put it.
It really was. Yeah, it was very frustrating. To me, the only real silver lining was getting the candy at the end. But again, we found their hardest room to be a lot more fun than what was supposed to be their easiest room. Yes. And we found their harder room to be a little more easier than their easiest room. Yes. It's really weird. I mean, I don't understand how you can rate. I guess you could rate difficulty, but it's such a wide scale.
It's suggestive depending on the person.
It is. Now, would it be a harder room because there's more locks and more puzzles? Or is it a harder room because there's less locks, but harder riddles and puzzles?
Or is it the type of lock or the type of puzzle?
Yes.
And
that's a good subject to talk about on a regular podcast.
Yeah.
On a separate podcast. But, so, Sweet Shop, it was cool. You smelt the candy in there. You started to get hungry.
Yep.
But you also smelt popcorn, because we're going to talk about the next room in a couple of minutes. But, so you started getting hungry a little bit.
Yep.
So it was nice that you got candy at the end, so you got a little snack in between the rooms. All in all, there's really not much I want to even talk about this room too much, but
no, it was
a room.
It was a good room. It's definitely a room to play.
Yeah.
It's not I don't want people to think it's a kid's room. By the description and the look of it, it seems like it is. I don't think it is.
Out of the 2 sweet shops we've done, even though this is Sweets Revenge, we had to find the recipe. That's what it came down to.
Yeah.
And you thought it was going to be more of a lab room.
Yeah, the description
almost a Willy
of
Wonka's chocolate factory.
Doesn't fit the actual room, which is fine that it didn't. It just, I would have rather had a different description than what we thought going into it.
This was really based on Willy Wonka, but no chocolate factory. It was the store. There was a sweet shop. But again, the difficulty here, they have rated as a 2 stars out of 5. I was finding it more difficult than their most difficult room. So, do it.
Yeah.
I mean,
do it up.
Do it up. Let's jump on to Carnival Conundrum.
Yes.
This one is 1 star difficulty.
With another frustrating room.
But it was
a better frustrating.
More activities to do in this room. Like fun activities.
Yeah.
Things you normally wouldn't do in an escape room.
Right.
And I think that's what... At first, I liked Sweet Shop better, but then after thinking about it, listening to your opinions and whatnot, you did kind of change my mind. And now it makes sense that... to me, it makes sense that this would be a better room.
Yeah.
Again, more fun activities that you normally wouldn't do in an escape room.
Yep.
You never throw things at stuff.
No.
You do that in here.
Or break things.
That was an accident.
No, the pops.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, throw things at things.
Yeah.
I did... Yes, I'll admit it. I did break one of the things, and it is what it is. But this was also a frustrating room. I'm not huge on red herrings. I get it for decor, but if it's for decor, then you shouldn't be able to play with it.
Well, I think too, that we have a different view than I think a lot of other groups do, because it's the 2 of us, and every minute in there we have to be
on the ball.
On the ball.
Yeah.
Where if there was an extra 2 or 3 people in that room with you, someone could be playing with one of those red herrings, and just to pass the time.
Right. Very true. There was one puzzle I found was really good. I mean, we needed a hint on it, but a little nudge. But once we got the nudge and we figured out actually what it was the gamble game, the gamble one.
Yep.
I thought that was done pretty well. And of course, the lock that dumbfounded us.
Yeah, that was
cool. Never saw that before.
No, we saw anything similar, but not right. That one.
Not something like that. And if we got that before, things would have progressed a little better. I think, especially when we opened up the other chest, that everything matched together. Again, I don't want to give spoilers because all in all, this was a good room.
Yeah, I liked this room better than the candy shop. like I said, it's to me they were both frustrating to do it. But this room, it seemed like you were, even though you weren't sure where to go next, you were kind of able to figure it out a little bit better than in Candy Shop.
Yes.
Where in Candy, you were just, I have no idea what's going on.
Right. We did beat this room. We beat Sweet Revenge 2.
Yep.
With, I'm going to say it, quite a bit of help.
Yes.
A lot of it to me just seemed a little leapier than normal, and especially Sweet Shop. But in the end, we got some popcorn.
Yeah.
Second place to give us popcorn.
And it was good popcorn.
It was very good popcorn. Again, we haven't eaten yet. We ate breakfast at 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning.
At the hotel.
At the hotel that we're staying at.
Yeah.
And
living
now
large,
we're looking
baby.
You're looking at 11, 12, 1, 1:30, 2 o'clock, somewhere around there.
Yeah, we had worked it out where we were supposed to have a break in this somewhere.
But
they just kept saying, you know
nope,
what, we'll just
the
put
room,
you in.
we'll get you in there.
Yeah.
Made sense. So, again, Carnival, Carnage, or Carnival...
Conundrum.
Do the room. It's really cool. Okay, now we moved on to the hardest room. 5 out of 5.
Loved this room.
I did. This room was done very well. And again, here's a tip. Search every inch of this room that you can stick your hands in. Do it. It's the only tip I'm going to give you for this room. And
those pieces are going to be right in front of you, and you are not going to... You're going to open something and pull out what's in there, and that something is still going to be left in that thing, and you're going to go nuts that you didn't see it.
Yep. Now, this one, we didn't beat. We still had a ways to go. I mean, don't forget, this room is also built for, a good team per in there would be 4 to 5 people.
Yeah. This room beat us.
I don't know if it beat us. There was just a lot of
Well, it did. There
was
was a lot left to do, and we were working well at it.
We were.
We were working at a good pace at it. It was just too much of a room
for 2 people.
For us.
Right. This one, it was cool because we did a lot of the things before we even found out that we had to do it.
Yep.
And we were clicking on all cylinders on this one.
We didn't waste that much of it. I could say maybe in the hour, maybe we wasted 5 minutes.
Yeah, maybe.
We really weren't wasting a lot of time on things.
And these ones here, aside from a couple of things that you had to do, at first I thought it may have been leapy, but then when we got a hint, it's like, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. So it's not really a leap, but it made sense. A couple of the puzzles, a couple of word locks, stuff like that, it was different. Yeah. But if you actually sat there and read the paperwork, you would understand it. And it would make sense. At first, it didn't make sense to me. Then I'm like, wait a minute. That's right. I read it in that paperwork, so this answer does make sense. We got it. I think we got about 3/4 of the way through. I think that's what it was.
Here more, maybe.
A few things they really got to fix is a couple pieces to a puzzle.
Yeah, when we pointed out broken pieces onto a prop on the puzzle, that kind of hindered how it was. We still managed to use
figure it out, but it took that little bit longer too.
They knew about it
but they kind of passed it off like, oh, it must have happened in the last game.
Yeah.
But if
you reset the room, you knew about it.
Right. You should have known about it.
And there has to be extra pieces back there to fix it. If not, it should have been addressed beforehand in some way.
And get some kind of workaround or something to that effect. It was a great puzzle. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
I thought that was I don't think I didn't like any of the puzzles that we did.
It's the best incarnation of that type of puzzle that I can remember.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will tell you, because it does say in here something about food allergies. So you got to be careful, because there is a tasting part.
Which we didn't get to.
We didn't get that far. There is also a smelling one.
Now, there was one game in there that's very similar to one that we played the day before.
Yes.
At another place.
Yes.
This was a much better version of basically the same
concept.
Yeah.
Same puzzle.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
everything made sense.
It made
Once
sense.
we figured it out, what the scent was, and we needed the help here because everybody, you smell one thing, you smell the second thing, you may smell the difference. So you get to the third thing, now everything smells the same. Yep. It's just like hearing. You hear a tone. You could probably change three, and then all of a sudden they all start sounding the same.
If you listen to our review of the last one, the things that we were complaining about with that puzzle, this company had addressed that
and nailed it spot on. Yeah. This was the best smelling puzzle we've ever done. Yes. Didn't get all over your hands like the previous place we were just at. We didn't smell it for hours after.
And part of, your senses work together, so the coloring worked with the scent on it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Once we figured it out, I didn't want to get that far into it, but
it was, everything made
sense.
Everything made sense. The scent itself was strong enough, more potent enough. But it was contained, so it wasn't wafting,
mixing together or leaking out of anything. It was just that smell, and it was cool. Another puzzle we did was like a graph puzzle.
Loved that puzzle.
That was a really good puzzle.
We were talking about different ways to do it.
Threw us for a loop at first because we thought we had to just follow something and read something almost in a circle or square.
Because we've done ones like that.
Right, but it wasn't anything like that. It was done very well. We thought it was one thing. It wasn't. And it almost made sense when you got, because it was a 5-letter word. I'll give you that. Because the middle letter actually lined up to what that was.
Yeah.
It was pretty weird. But all in all, as far as we got into this room, our game master, I think her name was Alex for this room. Very good game master. Yes. Very good. I mean, she was on the ball. She paid attention, and it was great. She said that she was like, a lot of people don't even get to open any of these, or maybe get one of these where there's 5 of the same thing that you have to unlock. We got 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah. And for a 2-person team, no one ever gets that far.
Nobody ever gets that far. You guys got really far. You still have a lot to go, but maybe we got about 70% through the room, I would think then. And I would definitely, I'll wait a few more months. Maybe the next trip we come down here, we do a redemption.
I would definitely.
And I don't care if we bring more people with us just to do the redemption. That's fine. Because now I'm determined I want to see the end of that room. Yes. She kind of gave us a couple little hints of what goes next, but not what happens.
There was too much for her to walk through that.
Yes, and they were busy. It was a revolving door of customers all day.
Every time you walked into the lobby to have your picture taken, there was just a mob of people.
Yes, all wearing masks.
Yep. everyone's 6 feet apart. Honest.
People were laying down. People were hanging from the ceiling. That's how 6 feet apart they were. Okay. But all in all, this was just. It was a great. It was a sigh of relief compared to the two before us.
Yeah.
And I don't know why they would. Again, we're going to have to talk about this on a separate podcast about difficulties in rooms and how it's more. Whatever. We'll talk about it on this podcast. I don't want to keep going through on and on and on. So that was it. We were done because the next room they had wasn't until 11 o'clock at night, and we talked about that on the episode before this podcast. So when we played that game,
and this place is busy till midnight.
Yes, they're open till midnight.
Yeah,
their last booking was 11 o'clock. We did a room for 9 o'clock. We got out at 9:45.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think you booked it at 10. It was a 20-minute ride to get out there, and we were there by 10:30 because we hung out in the Jeep beforehand. And you're like, after we finished that other game, I don't even want to mention their name. We'll say it was this game. If you listen to our podcast before this, you'll know what room it is. You're like, we're not ending the night like this. I'm not going back to the hotel and going to sleep. I'm not doing it. We're not doing it. And then you looked it up, and you're like, Just Escape's got Illusionist for 11. Let's do it up.
Last game we had to play there.
Yeah, baby, yeah!
Time was right.
And we were determined.
Yeah.
We were determined. And everybody that we talked to that worked at Just Escape all said that this was their favorite room. Yes. And I see why. By far, my favorite room of the whole place.
Mine also.
We love magic rooms. I mean, everybody knows Servants of Slight is God compared to any other.
There'll never be another Servants.
There will never be another Servants. But this room was done so well. There's, I think, one puzzle. We talked about this on the ride back. There's one puzzle that I didn't like at all.
Yep.
A word problem. I'll give you that. Other than that, getting almost nitpicking, and I've already mentioned it for other reviews in this place, they really need to put springs on doors because these doors aren't opening all the way. And so you don't know what's open.
Or when it does open, it opens quietly.
Yeah, it's just like a click, and you don't even know what's opening. So if it's
behind you, you don't know that it...
Because we did a couple of puzzles where we put the pieces in the right place.
Yep.
And, this is open. Cool. Now, we spent, and this is how good they were.
Yes.
We had 3 minutes left.
Freak your brother.
We had 3 minutes left. And we're looking, we needed one key. One key to get to the final box, lock, whatever. And we can't find it. And the guy, our game master, is over the screen saying, well, the key is right there. The key is right there. It's in this spot, right there. You opened it. I'm like, but we didn't open it.
Yeah.
Like, where is it? Well, it's right here. It's right here. We're looking like, no, it's not. So it got down to 2 minutes and like 1 second or something, and they stopped the clock. The guy came in. No, the girl came in. The girl came in and goes, did you open that over there? Oh, I didn't even, totally forgot that would even open. And I'm like, well, what opens that? And she told us what opens it. I said, well, we did it. No, we had it reversed. I said, okay. Now, before you leave, how did this open then?
Because we thought what we did opened that.
Right, because it was It was open when we did it, and it was so quiet. And she's like, "No, when you put this over there, that's what." And that's what I'm talking about. You need.
And our backs was to it. We didn't know it opened.
Right.
And it happened when we did this other puzzle. We looked over and said, "Oh,
that's open.
That's open.
What opened that?"
Yeah.
And, so that's what I'm saying. You need springs so we know things are open, or a chime of some sort.
Anyways, then
they said, "Okay." Left, gave us the minute back.
Yep.
And we finished it 30 seconds later.
Yeah. Not many people stop the clock, and when they do stop it, not many places, even less places, add on the legitimate time that they know wasn't your fault for losing.
And we weren't even arguing. We're just trying to say,
we're just having a conversation back and forth.
It's not there.
Yeah.
And then we found out some secrets of the room that we didn't even realize we did. Again, it was just, but it was such a good room that you were really immersed, and you didn't even know what was opening and what, because you were immersed in the room. You really were. By far, my favorite room there. My favorite room there.
Again, like we talk about Captain Spoopy being on a different level, Servants is on a different...
Yeah, it's on a different level.
It's on a different stratosphere altogether.
Right.
If you take them out of the equation, this is probably my favorite.
Yes.
Magic, illusion type genre.
And we've done... There's one in Hour to Escape, which is in New Rochelle.
Yep.
We've done...
Which was a good one.
Right. I'm glad we were both going to say this.
I like theirs.
We actually did All In Adventures, the mall ones, which that one wasn't half bad.
No.
And then we did one in North Carolina.
The only problem with that one was set up wrong.
Yes, and then we went back and did it again another time. But yeah, it was just set up wrong. And All In Adventures wasn't that bad. And this is, if anybody's ever played All In Adventures, they're just cubicles, wallpaper.
Yeah.
Quick deals that it is what it is. If you just want to brush up on some skills.
Yeah.
But we did one in North Carolina that was this giant room, and I think we did a video review about it, so you can go on YouTube and check it out. That just had so many locks that it's like, well, this is our hardest room. Well, why? Because you have so many locks when you can actually arrange this and set it up for as many people as you want to book into the room. If you only book into 2 people in the room, you could really set this up so that you don't have to go through 10 locks to get to one thing. You could really, we've seen it in other escape rooms where they said that they could, set it up differently.
Yeah.
But by far, again, my favorite place, my favorite room in Just Escape.
Mine also. And the favorite, like you said, of most of the workers there.
Yes. They're all, this is my favorite one. This is my favorite one. This is my favorite. Everybody said it there. And it was done very well. Other than that, I mean, there's not much else we could say. I mean, we've already got almost an hour of review here. So it
a lot of rooms at the place.
Well, not for nothing. It's kind of working out good because I was hoping to just do about 10 minutes on each room, and we're right around that area.
Yeah.
But definitely check them out. JustEscapeRI.com, I believe it is. Open up. Just Escape LI. Not Rhode Island, Long Island.
Well, Strong Island, baby.
JustEscapeLI.com. Check them out. You get discounts if you leave a Google review and you screenshot it and email them. They'll give you, I forgot what discount it is, but they give you a discount. We didn't take any discounts. We paid for all these rooms.
That we didn't.
We didn't look for discounts. We don't do that.
And again, everyone there was super nice, super friendly. The place was packed. It was busy. And these people were not frustrated. They held their cool. They were just jamming along with everything. They kept everything under control. They kept everything running smooth.
Yes.
The little bit of time that we did have for quick little conversations here or there, everyone was friendly. Everyone was great. And definitely, if you have the opportunity, this is one of the places you got to go to.
You really got to go. And we were going to do this when we first planned this trip, because this was on a wing and a prayer, and it was just a last minute thing. And I said, well, we did this section of Long Island the last time we were there. Why don't we stay in this other section of Long Island? Now we kind of want to go back to the original part of Long Island, but we'll see what happens.
This was on a Friday after work.
Yes.
Hey, you want to do something? And
Let's go.
Saturday morning, we're in the car leaving.
And booking random. So that's the way we like doing them, because sometimes you find crap ones, then you find the hidden gems like this place. Yes. So can't say it enough about Just Escape. Easily top 2 escape room companies in Long Island.
Yeah.
Top 2. It's the other one being Escape Zone. Which is I don't know if we'll visit it on this trip or not. Would like to. We'll see. But again, check these guys out. So before we close, we're gonna talk about DIUEscapeCrew.com.
Yeah. Come on! Get your swag.
Get your swag.
Swag.
Check us out on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. We don't have an Instagram. You want to message us? We want feedback, guys. We really, really need feedback.
We know you're out there.
We know you're listening. There's been a lot of downloads.
And thank you.
Yeah. Thank you
very much we checked the numbers, and it's a steady growth pattern, and
it really is.
We are extremely excited about it, extremely happy about it. And it's like Christmas Day every time we check those numbers. They just keep getting better. Woo!
That was awesome.
Anyway, we're checking the numbers. We don't check them daily. We check them a couple times a week, but we're averaging and we're staying steady at a certain number, and we're so happy. If we get more, great. The more the merrier. But we appreciate the numbers that we're getting now. Yep. We're over 50-something episodes now. We've been at it for a year, almost a year.
Yeah, it's been.
No, we've been at it for I think over a year now. Actually, I'm just looking back on my Facebook memories. A year ago, as of this recording, 4 years ago, as of this recording, we did our 5th and 6th escape room.
Wow.
North Carolina, Indian Trail, Masterpiece. The standard.
Gotta love Masterpiece.
The standard.
Everything has to work all the time, whether we do it or you do it.
Exactly. Just last week came up our very first escape room. The place is closed. It came up in the memories, but the place tagged didn't come up because they're closed. But
shout out to Steph.
Shout out to the OG.
Original gamer.
Original gangsta gamer. The OGG. Talked us into it, and 4 years later, and just under 300 rooms later, we're broke.
We went from sitting at a table having something to eat to, you guys ever heard of an escape room?
Yes.
To a little while later, she's chained to a toilet.
I'm chained to the wall, and you're in a cage like a gorilla.
That's right. Look at the monkey in the cage.
I would have loved to go back and do that room now.
I would too.
What we know now to what we knew then. And that was their hardest room at the time, too.
Yeah.
At that time, we had an average of picking the hardest rooms no matter where we went.
We still do, kind of.
Well, a lot of them didn't have ratings.
Right.
now they all have, a lot of them have ratings.
They just, the harder ones usually have better descriptions.
Yes.
At least the ones that appeal to us.
Yes. But anyway, we're getting off on a tangent. Again, thank you everybody for supporting this podcast. We appreciate it because we don't have sponsors.
Unless you want to,
but we're
you
not.
can sponsor us. We love that.
We actually can't say that. We do have one sponsor. It is Do It Up Productions.
Yeah.
And of course, everything is under the umbrella of Do It Up Productions.
That's right.
DIU TV, DIU Escape Crew, DIU Escape Room Reviews.
Taking over the world, baby.
One DIU at a time.
Yeah.
Anyway, again, thank you, everybody. Shout out to the Rusty Razor Podcast. Listen to them. Look them up, Facebook, YouTube.
Dave.
Yep. The Triple D. The designated Deacon Dave.
Yeah.
And whatever co-host he decides to take for that show.
Yep.
Check them out. All on the DIU Podcast Network. Another DIU. So.
Shout out to Lee. Where are you, Lee? You're supposed to be here with us on the trip.
Yeah, Lee. We asked you.
That's
Hello?
why we're married.
Hello? Anybody home? Hey, think with fly fish.
Yeah. So, with that, I'm Dom.
That is Dom, and I am Phil.
That is Phil. Thanks for listening.
Peace out.